Welcome. I have with me today Lori and Brendan O'Gara, multi-genre authors. They are going to talk a little bit about their new fantasy books and maybe a little bit about the rest of their books as well. So welcome, Lori and Brendan.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
I'm excited to dive into your books. Who's going to talk first? How is this going to work?
You can go first.
Me?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about this book? Or do you want to talk about where this book came from?
Yeah.
Okay, so this book is called Traveler's Song. And it's right up here in a small print. It says that it's Necromancer's Song, Book 1, Traveler's Song. There's got to be more. So I'm going to tell you where this came from. My beautiful wife was working on a book that she'd been working on for a little while. And what happened with that book?
Oh, I finished it in 6 months. Yeah.
After we got together. And then how many books did you put out?
That series I have 4 total.
Did one every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that, I could write a book. I could do this. This would be something I could do. So I decided to write a cookbook because that's what I knew a lot about cooking. So I put this book together. This is Gadlin O'Hale's Fantastic Recipes from the 7 Kingdoms, taken from the greatest pubs, taverns, and inns. So it was a cookbook, but I had a hook because it was a cookbook that I had adventurers in. Now, in between the recipes, there are, manners, lessons. You should seat the whole family before you start to eat and that kind of thing. But I didn't think that was enough. So in order to make it more of a hook, I put adventurers in here. I put them going through things, or I put them remembering things that they had done on the road, just little stories. So I put that out, and I would go to Ren fairs and
festivals.
And after the 100th person came to me and said, Brendan, your food is good. It's easy to understand all the recipes. I even have a 3-page recipe on how to make an apple pie from beginning to end. If you've never made apple pie, this book will tell you how to do it. See, but we want to know what happens to these characters. Where'd they come from? Where are they going? So after 100 people asked me about that, I said, well, it's time to write this book.
Yeah, he said, do you want to write a fantasy novel with me? And I had never written fantasy before. I've written contemporary fiction, nonfiction things, but not fantasy. So it was fun. It was an adventure, learning the genre. Yeah.
So that's where Traveler's Song came from. In this book, there's monsters, there's giant creatures, there's the undead, there's
your necromancer.
The necromancer.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at him, he's either the protagonist of the whole book or the antagonist of the whole story.
Yeah.
I leave it up to you to decide how you're going to see him. There's another one, there's his counterpart, who is also either the protagonist or the antagonist, because everybody in their own life likes to tell stories about the things that they've done. And when they do so, they are the hero of their own story. All these guys in here see themselves as the hero of their own stories.
That sounds very cool. Like, I'm intrigued already.
Well,
and how does it work to co-write? I mean, do you both add ideas in further?
We get this question every time that we do an interview with anybody. What's it like? I don't understand. How can you be writing a story and then just stop and let somebody else pick it up? It works out like this. I'm a man. I write from a man's point of view. I cannot do justice to female characters. I don't understand how women think. I don't understand how women walk, talk, sit, sleep, eat. So when it comes to that, it's either grab my teenage daughters, get people I know, talk to my wife, and say, please tell me these things. Or, hey, I got a female. You need to write a part.
That's how it started. But he sits right back here behind me, and
Where the dragon is.
we write. We can be working on projects together or separate, and still, even when I'm working on an individual project, he'll sit over there and I'll say, hey, research this for me, make sure this is right. And so we still work together even when we're not writing together. But with Traveler's Song, Brendan writes scenes as the inspiration hits him. So he doesn't write linear. I usually write like the beginning of my story, then the end, and then go in the middle. But he writes totally different. He's all over the place. So he would write scenes, and because we have a plot line and we know about where it's going. We don't outline everything to death, but we do have a plot. We work on a plot diagram. So he'll write all over it and then give it to me, and then I'm putting his stuff and writing, keeping it going linear while he's writing all over. So yeah. And then, but so many writing this, we had so many other thoughts about where the story could go and other characters that we ended up writing what we call compendium books. They're not prequels, they're just different places on the timeline. So we have the Dark Beginning, which they're little tiny things, but they give you an introduction to our characters. Our necromancers in this one too. This is about I would say maybe 200 or 300 years before Traveler's Song in our timeline, at least. Easily. And then we have the Extant, which is also part of the universe of Traveler's Song, and it happens a little closer towards Traveler's Song. So we have these little compendium books that because we get this character and we think, oh, this is a great character, but really isn't fitting the story just yet. So then we'd write some other stories around them.
This book takes place.
Fun. I love backstories, so I'm a big fan.
About 4,000. Yeah.
This book takes place 4,000 years in the future.
Oh, okay. So futuristic. Okay.
Right. When technology has come and gone, and the strength of man has come and gone, and the world is reliving itself, recreating itself. The races that existed before, Neanderthal, the magical realms, that kind of thing, they are all growing up again. So,
but the common thread through the whole thing is our necromancer. He's been around since, I don't know, he's very old.
Since Roman times.
Yeah, because he was cursed by God. So his thing is he saw humanity destroy itself. So his goal is to not allow that to happen again. So he's seeking out technology and things to stop humans from destroying themselves. So that's the bottom line of all of our stories are intertwined on that theme.
Very cool. And do they have our technology, or is it just basic? I just can eat, and I can, I don't have computers or phones or.
No, there's no computers. There's other type of communication devices. There's a little bit of steampunk technology in there too.
Okay.
But it's more, there's electricity in some places in our world. There's some places that have electricity, but that to other people, to them it's magic because they don't know what it is. They don't
interesting.
So, yeah.
So it sounds a little bit dystopian as well.
We get that a lot.
Yeah, we get that.
I've created 2 different types of magic. Mm-hmm. Okay, one is out in the provinces, all right, and that's Eldritch, the soft form of magic, if you will. And then there's another form that takes place in the capital cities, and it's hard magic, and that is done with ether. In a soft magic system, you put the energy in and you hope you get what you're looking for, but you don't always get it. In a hard magic system, A plus B equals C. That's all there is to it.
Nice. Very cool.
Well,
That's
much more.
very intriguing, because I talked to another author earlier in the week and they talked about soft magic and hard magic. And I was like, whoa, wait, slow down. I've never been introduced to this concept before. So that's intriguing that you have that same type of
Well, the thing is, the soft magic systems and hard magic systems are come from our ideas and our thoughts on the genre, because I'm willing to bet that whoever this author was, they started out with Tolkien. Everybody did. All the gaming companies started out with Tolkien, and the magic idea is there. And then we are all faced with the technological world, the world we live in, that, you know, if you do this and you put the battery here and then you turn that, power comes on. That's a hard magic system.
right.
Any technology that is significantly advanced from what we are used to now would be seen as magic.
Okay. Makes sense. So your necromancer, is he a male character or a female character, or you don't know?
No,
He's a male character.
Okay. And is it from his point of view, or are we getting a third person?
We're getting it from all over. Yeah.
You get in Trailer's song, there's 5 characters, and then another character that gets added on, and then the necromancer, and then another character gets added on. So you see the world from all these perspectives.
Very cool.
Sometimes you get things from the monsters during some of the fights, and you see their perspective of what's going on. It's kind of like Jaws and Jaws 1. I mean, Jaws 2. You remember in Jaws, everything was seen from the human perspective.
Right.
Then in Jaws 2, you saw things from the shark's perspective.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay. Very cool. That sounds intriguing. Yeah, I'm excited. Did you guys, this is not your, sort of your second book. Lori, do you want to talk about a little bit about your fiction books?
Well, I write totally different genre. I write contemporary fiction. I have a set of books based in Perdido Key, Florida, because that's where we're from. I think I have them right here. So the books that I have written, the novel series I have is it's a little bit of romance. There's romance in it, and it's there is a little bit of magic and mysticism, because on Perdido Key there were, at one point, it was a Native American community, before it was settled. So there's a little bit of Native American lore in my stories. But this is my first book in the series.
Pretty. I like the cover.
There's a little bit of glare on it. This picture is actually taken from a restaurant that's on the other side of the canal here called the Sunset Grill. It's built on a piece of beach where Brendan and I played together when we were kids. We've known each other since we were 12. So we took this picture and made it the cover for that. But but it's very much contemporary fiction, women's fiction. It's romance and mystery and conspiracy theory and a little bit of mysticism. Yeah.
Very cool. And how long have you been writing?
Forever. I started seriously writing about 2009. So I don't know how long we've just been, I don't know, a long time. We've been storytellers forever. Part of that's we used to play games together. We used to play tabletop games, us and all the kids. When we lived on Perdido Key, there was only like 5 families with kids, so we were all playing together. But that's collective storytelling. So
very cool. And Perdido Key, orient me, because I grew up going to St. Petersburg where my grandparents lived.
Okay, you know where Pensacola is, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So if you go Pensacola towards Alabama on the beach going towards
Okay.
Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Perdido Key is out that way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I grew up in South Georgia, and we went there to Destin for
Yeah,
a lot of.
that's 98. Perdido Key's on the other end. On the west.
Okay. Yeah. We went there on spring break. That's what we did. So that was our beach that we went to. So fun. It's a beautiful area there. So lots of inspiration.
Mhm. Yeah.
Good time.
Lots of history in Northwest Florida.
And Traveler's Song, is there going to be a sequel to that?
There is. It's in the works right now as we speak.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to finish up the second book this year.
Yeah.
When this year? I don't know.
But he's working on it. I'm also working on another side story in the same world as Traveler's Song called The Remnants of Eden. It talks about how it's a lot about the people who God created when he created Adam and Eve, the other human beings that he created, and how they evolved and some of that. So I don't want to give too much away because it's still very new, but
I love Genesis stories because I write witches and vampires. And so my origin stories for witches and vampires start in the Garden of Eden as well, with Lilith and some other beings that I won't reveal. But I'm sort of a geek for origin stories.
well, I mean,
and angels,
Well, this kind of came from my kids are like, God made Adam and Eve, right? But did he make other people? Because there's all these other people, and Cain got a wife, and where did those people come from? So that's kind of where the Remnants of Eden is. It's actually in the future from where we are now, but it's actually Eden still exists and people still live there. So that's kind of where I'm at with that story.
That's an interesting premise. I don't think I've heard that one before. So very cool. I will have to follow you guys everywhere and start reading your books. So
Stalker. Sorry.
We like those kind of stalkers.
Yeah, those are good.
Of course. Yeah, the best thing I love about doing these podcasts, well, it's good and bad, but like literally I have been recording 2 a day, and now my Kindle is like exploded.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many new books to read. You look at them and go, this is going to be really cool. And then you look at it and go, why did I do this?
So many books, so little time. Tell our listeners where they can find you and all your books.
Our website is the-ogueras.com. All of our social media links from there, all of our books are there. And we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, but all of our stuff, it's easy just to go to theogueras.com and find us there.
Fun. Well, thank you so much for being here and telling us all about the Traveler's Song and your fiction series. And we will be very excited to see the sequel to the Traveler's Song. So it's up to you, right, Brendan?
That's right. He's working on it.
I'm working on it, in.
No pressure.
No. Yeah, but I come later. This one's mostly you. It's mostly your character. So yeah.
Fun. Well, thanks again for being here.
For having us.
Absolutely.
Bye.